Ancient Alpha Secrets in Modern Life. There are two basic models to look at the evolution of human society. Note, this is not about the evolution of humans. Assuming we started being humans about 200,000 years ago, there are some very simple categories to place humans in this history. Our model is our use of energy. Long before we were humans, we discovered fire. Fire was important for two reasons. One, we used it to cook our food. This was kind of like pre-digesting it before we ate it. This gave us a lot of extra time. Since this happened a couple of million years before our brains got very big, we can assume that while we had all that extra time, whatever we were doing pushed our brains bigger and bigger. So what specifically was this? The most important thing for all animals is getting food. So when humans were not eating, they were hunting. Critically, they started hunting with fire, lighting fires in one place, knowing which direction the animals would run away from the fire. This required abstract thinking and planning, driving our brains bigger and bigger. Humans are also hierarchical, and since we could use fire to hunt strategically or otherwise hunt strategically, how did we determine who was at the top of the hierarchy? Whoever had the best ideas. Think of a bunch of humans looking at a woolly mammoth. They wouldn't have just run screaming at the animal, everybody doing their own thing and hoping for the best. Somebody had a plan. Well, probably a few people had a plan. But just like a bunch of engineers arguing over the best design for a new product, the best plan was chosen through an idea contest. The group considers each idea and the best one wins. The guy who consistently comes up with the best idea is going to be the leader. This is true in modern engineering companies as much as it was back in the days of hunters and gatherers. How society evolved can be described by how these idea contests played out. First, it was in hunting. Who could best get the most energy? Then we invented agriculture. This is when things kind of changed. Back in the days of hunter-gatherers, they were nomads. But in agriculture, the energy was grown in the same piece of land for many, many years. This meant the alpha of agriculture could pass on this alpha standing to their kids. For the first time in human history, humans could inherit alpha status, or noble blood as they called it. Back in the days of hunter-gatherers, every generation was an alpha contest. Being son of an alpha didn't mean squat back then. But ever since agriculture, it was possible to inherit alpha standing, but not demonstrate alpha behavior. This is still true today, thousands of years later. This is why just being rich isn't enough. Just having the right looks or the right clothes aren't enough. But if you understand what those ancient pre-agricultural alpha characteristics are and replicate them, you can clean up. To learn how, visit mindpersuasion.com/social-dominance.